32 Signs is sponsoring car number 32. A driver from Norwich, Tom Abele Jr.
Advice 1 brings us car number 49 from Tolland, Connecticut. It's Ronnie Williams.
Then it will be car number 88 in the Wheelers Auto Car. He's from Berlin, Kid Rock, Keith Rocco.
Mike.com brings us the number 13. The winningest driver in the history of the StaffordSpeedway from Plainville, Connecticut. The one and only TC, Ted Christopher.
This driver has 2 victories operating out of the S&S asphalt paving car. From Roxbury, Chase Dowling.
Then it's the number 04, the Izio Motorsports car from the Bro, Connecticut for Dylan Izio.
Then in car number 24, the Rad Auto Machine sponsored car. He is from Palmer, Josh Wood.
Taylor Catering brings us the 51 from East Hartford, Connecticut for DJ Burnham.
This year he's got his old number back, number 25, in the tick-free organic tick control car from North Haven, Tyler Hines.
Car number 18 is up next for Jeff Burrill in the North Shore Motorsports car.
Then it will be car number 66, the Bulldog in the Cause Central Auto car, Eric Burnt.
Car number 40 is up next. That's the Jean-Guy Pool and Drywell Eco Bay Marina car. The driver is Ryan Priest.
Buzz Aero LLC brings us Paul Buzel in car number 09.
Eddie Spires is next in the 48. Tommy Bowles the 76.
Then it will be Robert Goulet in the 70 and Tommy Membrino Jr. in the 00.
The green is out, and SK Modified, racing at its best, rumbles the earth as it heads down into turn number 1.
And look at Dan Avery making an early statement on the outside groove. He is able to blur past Kopchik to move into the lead.
But look at Membrino. The Hummel's hot dog machine is looking racy to the top side. Membrino's back in the SK, and he's looking strong, and McDermott is right there with him with that yellow number 5.
Boy, wouldn't it be
Trouble.
something?
Membrino goes around. Melee off turn number 2 as Membrino's car snapped around, and everybody tried to avoid the situation, and that set off a chain reaction. We'll see how many cars that are able to move away with 1 lap up on the board. Ted Christopher was involved as Christopher's car is stopped next to the outer wall. Burnham, who was talking to me earlier in the paddock area, has no luck at all. Goulet's machine down on pit road.
Eddie Spires also one of those cars involved.
Green flag is back out. And Dan Avery wastes no time at all.
He has some giddy up, and look at Matt Galco right behind him.
And look at Glenn Reen. No, you're not seeing double. Reen's car and Avery's car are teammates, and they almost look identical.
Trying to nudge his way underneath the 17 car is Mike Christopher Jr. as he tries to bazooka his way underneath the 17. And he has energy on the backstretch to take over the spot. They are ganging up on Dan Avery.
They certainly are. And Matt Galco sees some daylight to the inside. Now, Galco is one of those drivers that consistently has had a fast race car, but has not been able to have any luck. But it's still Avery in command. Now look a little further back. Guess who's coming back to the front of this field? And he's coming on very, very strong. Is Chase Dowling. Dowling making some noise. And now we've got a brand new leader. Leader number 2. 4 laps in. Matt Galco in command.
You know, a cyclone in the upper portion of the field is Ronnie Williams in car number 49 as he is able to scoot his way close to Glenn Reen. So that is a car definitely on the move. And speaking of being on the move, Cam McDermott, he is able to tomahawk his way underneath Dan Avery. And now Cam McDermott is in second place.
And who's the tail that wags the dog there? All of a sudden, Mike Christopher in the tick-free organic machine now moves in and challenges Avery in the same manner.
Mike Jr. having a strong night. He's able to blockbuster his way underneath Avery, who has fallen from first to fourth.
Who is the quickest car on the racetrack? Believe it or not, it's the leader, Matt Galco, 19.371 on the last circuit by. Previous to that, it was Ryan Preece who was the quickest guy. Now look back to the 5th spot. That's where Chase Dowling is in a side-by-side battle with Glenn Reen. And Dowling has just won that battle, Matt. He'll take over position number 5.
And he did it on the outside as he was able to mesmerize his way into the number 5 position. Ronnie Williams continues to hold tough in car number 49, but it's a pretty hefty lead for Matt Galko, leading by about the length of a school bus over Chase Dowling, or over Cam McDermott in that number 5 car. So this is one of Matt Galko's finest hours.
Chase Dowling now sets his sights to the inside of Dan Avery. Battle for the 4th spot. And all of a sudden, Ryan Preece has moved into the top 6. Preece now looks to the outside of Chase Dowling. They're all over Dan Avery as they make some noise off turn 4.
Preece has always been one of the best running to the outside. He started in 22nd position, and now he is trying to infiltrate the top 5, and he is picking after a tough driver, Chase Dowling, and it looks like Preece is on the verge of moving into the top 5.
Yes, Ryan Preece is not done yet. Dowling has to settle back in behind him, and then we've got Williams, who was involved in that jingle on lap number 1, and now Williams has moved back into the top 7.
And also behind him is Tom Abley, having another good top 10 run, one notch ahead of Glenn Reen. Tightest battle, 2nd and 3rd, but the yellow comes out.
Car
and
number
there's
24.
trouble for Wood.
Josh Wood's machine has a mechanical problem. And there is the green again, and Galko.
Galko looks like he was fired out of a grenade launcher. He is exploding his way to the lead, but McDermott is having something to say about that.
He sure is, and Chase Dowling is already making it happen in the outside groove.
Little
Dowling.
Ringo Starr action to the back bumper of the Galko car administered by McDermott.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Ryan Preece. Preece was in the 6th spot in the last restart. He's running to the outside of the white car, which is Mike Christopher. Back up front, McDermott gets a little antsy, and that opens the outside lane, but Dowling is not able to make a bid for it that time, Matt.
He is going to settle into 3rd, one notch behind Avery. Here comes Ryan Preece. When Preece is at the top of his game, nobody runs the outside better than he does. So we'll see what he can do. Meanwhile, nobody has an answer right now for Matt Galko.
And there's no question about it. Preece is hooked up in that upper lane. Oh, Mike Christopher. And all of a sudden, Ronnie Williams made a Timex move. Now look at Preece.
He is on the inside in car number 40.
And he brings with him Williams as Dan Avery is stuck in the upper groove.
Yeah, Williams was almost stapled to the back bumper of Ryan Preece. What a move Keith Rocco made to get underneath his teammate. And now
his teammate gives him a tap to the bumper. They settle back in and things are okay. Todd Owen is coming back to the front of the field.
Boy, you cannot keep Todd Owen down for long. He always bounces back.
And this time when they come to the stripe mat, halfway down and halfway to go.
Galko leading by a tongue depressor at the halfway mark over McDermott. Things are getting interesting now. It's Keith Rocco. That car has come to life. Car number 88. Let's see how long it takes him to get close to the 82 of Mike Christopher Jr.
Meanwhile, back up front, Galko still the leader. McDermott still in 2nd. Dowling is still in the 3rd spot. But Ronnie Williams turned the fastest lap of the race, 19:141. And that was just 3 laps ago.
Here comes Rocco in turn number 3, and veto power for Mike Christopher. So a good job for the young driver from Wilkett. Better job, Matt Galko. The challenge is for 2nd between McDermott and Dowling.
Dowling now, again, runs to the outside first, then takes a peek at the bottom. Chase Dowling puts a wheel down under McDermott. They rub rails as they come back to the stripe. The S&S paving machine. Chase Dowling is up to 2nd.
Well, he was able to excavate his way underneath McDermott.
Now look at McDermott trying to do the crossover on Dowling.
I think he might have taken Dowling by surprise.
And all of a sudden, Ryan Preece runs in the tire tracks of Dowling, and here comes Ronnie Williams. But it's Dowling who shakes them off down in turn 3.
And Ryan Preece trying to make a power move on the outside against McDermott. Here comes Preece lightning as he is able to butane his way dead even with McDermott down the backstretch, and now Preece pulls away.
Preece moves on to the podium. Ronnie Williams, who's had one of the quickest cars in the racetrack, he's coming to the front of the field. Williams started in the 12th position, and he has now emerged to contend for the 4th spot. Avery's still there in that front pack of 6. And here comes Keith Rocco. Can't do it this time. Back off turn number 4. Oh, all of a sudden, Mike Christopher with a power assist by Keith Rocco.
Rocco's tried for about 10 laps to get by the 82 and has not been able to find a solution. So Mike Christopher doing a great job holding off Rocco. The action in turn number 4, McDermott has his hands full holding off Ronnie Williams in car number 49. So Williams is a contender, currently running 5th. The question is, Matt Galco's lead is starting to diminish. Chase Dowling is going to work. He still has plenty of time in which to complete the move.
Last circuit by Matt Galco, 19.220. Chase Dowling, 19.093. Ryan Preece, 19.239. Dowling is a rocket about ready to leave the launch pad. That car now turns a 19.080. What a lap that is for an SK Modified, 30 laps into the feature event. And I don't think Chase Dowling is done yet, Matt.
He is the fastest pony in the merry-go-round as that lead continues to shrink for Matt Galco. Has 9 laps to go in which to try to preserve his advantage. Ryan Preece is in 3rd, but right now it's a shootout between Galco and Dowling.
Dowling continues to reel him in. Right there in the apex of the turn. As now Chase Dowling is all over Matt Galco, who had such a commanding lead. Dowling gives him a smooch to the back bumper. No love affair there. Bottom shot move. Chase Dowling going, gone. Proving that Dowling is the big dog in the SKs in the early part of 2017.
He is 7 laps away from his 3rd win of the season, starting to pull away from Galco. A distant 3rd is Ryan Preece. Then it's McDermott, followed by Williams. It's amazing. Chase Dowling made up a lot of ground and didn't abuse his race car.
He certainly didn't, and that is why he was able to, when he got a clear track, to be able to really make some noise. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Ryan Preece. Bonsai move to the bottom of McDermott.
That's
Literally.
Ronnie Williams who did that.
Wow. And McDermott's car, something must have broken the race car, because that car comes to a screeching halt.
Bringing out the yellow with 5 to go. So we are ready to turn them loose for perhaps a final time. Critical restart for Dowling, and sitting on his lap right now is Matt Galco.
Dowling guards the bottom, but Galco isn't going to give up, and Ryan Preece. Meanwhile, look at Galco trying that crossover again on Chase Dowling. They come off the turn, and by inches, it's Dowling. But Galco keeps digging in. Matt Galco is back in the lead, Matt, but it's short-lived.
And Galco trying to get it back. Williams, car number 49, is making a move. It is Galco by a nostril. Will have the lead as they head to the stripe. Too close to call between Galco and Chase Dowling. A barn burner.
It's not over with yet. 37 up on the board. Galco back in command. Dowling, Williams. Now throw Ryan Preece in it. Popsicle sticks are up. 2 circuits to go. Crossover off turn number 4. Priest wants to play up front. Galco still leads him. Bottom of turn 2, Matt.
Can Galco clear Dowling? The answer is no. Dowling comes alive on the outside. They whirlybird their way into the third corner. Galco getting some breathing room. Right behind him is Williams. Any one of 4 cars can win it with 1 lap to go.
Final
Yellow
circuit.
comes out.
Yellow flag comes out off turn number 4 just as the heat was turned up full force. Michael Christopher went around to the inside of the racetrack, and a yellow comes out, and this is going to be perhaps one of the most incredible finishes in the SK so far this season. Here they come. Watch the white stripe. Picture perfect start. Galco and Dowling, wheel to wheel. Galco has the advantage. Half a car. Turn 3, Matt. Will it remain the same?
Priest is moved into third by Williams as they power their way off the corner. Rowan Panic has come from the wilderness to move into 5th place. Avery on the grass in the lead. Here comes Galco. He is a half a lap away from celebration.
Down the back straightaway, Matt Galco has worked hard and worked long. Chase Dowling looks to be the spoiler. Here's Ryan Priest. Williams, as they cross the stripe, Matt Galco has done it. He's taken down a victory in the SKs here at Stafford.
Chase Dowling running a strong second. Ryan Priest third. Ronnie Williams fourth.
Okay, Ben, thank you very much. Matt Galco, safety equipment is off. He's ready to exit this race car. Let's give him a send-off here. What a run for Matt Galco in the number 3 car. Matt Galco, Matty Ice goes to victory lane. SK Modifieds, man, take us through those last few laps. What a drive.
I got to thank Chase Dowling for giving me a good run. First off, I got to thank everybody for helping me out every week. I got to dedicate this win to my mom. She had a pretty massive stroke a couple weeks ago, and this is her first week back. So I told her that I couldn't have won until she got back here. So this one's for my mom. I gotta thank Tony from TA Engines. I got to thank Jason from Complete Chassis Works, Complete Chassis Solutions for the awesome shocks. Got to thank Brad LaFontaine for the awesome chassis, Northeast Race Cars. I got to thank Napa Auto Parts, Vizino Auto Parts, Duchess Restaurant. I got to thank Jam, Rose Lawn Care. I got to thank Team Critical. I got to thank all my crew members that came out with me for the past 5 or 6 years in Modifieds, and we never got a win, but they never gave up on me, so this one's for everybody, especially for my mom. I want to thank all the fans for coming out. I got to thank all the people that support me for never giving up on me, and I got to thank the Roots for putting on an awesome show. I had a fight back making a mess in my helmet the last couple laps, but I'm glad we finally got this off our chest.
Matt Galco, give it up once again. What a run.
They give him the wave off on the next time by. This is the inaugural visit, the first visit for the MTS series here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. They head down the backstretch. Exit Realty pace car at the point.
Okay, now we're set.
Shan moves to the starter stand. He's in command at the high position of the racetrack. And it looks like we're going to be going green
this time by.
This time by.
What a field of cards.
Here they come on turn number 4. The green is out, and Christopher has the advantage to turn 1.
And Christopher, like a lightning bolt, is getting the jump on Keith Rocco. We already have a fight for third, as that's Kirk Alexander trying to go from 4th to 2nd in a half a turn.
And that outside groove is rubbered in from the previous races tonight, so that outside groove is working well.
Kirk Alexander comes from the high banks of Monadnock, quickly moves into 2nd. They're doubled up for the 3rd spot, and Rocco's car has suddenly become evil. And look at Dylan Kopak, another graduate from Monday Night Kart Racing and a graduate from the SK Lights.
That's right.
Dylan Kopak, the color green is money, and he's in the 3rd spot, Matt.
And he's trying to take it to the bank, but Keith Rocco has come to life a little bit in car number 57, trying to maintain his position against And Kopech is leapfrogging his way into the top 3. So it is Ryan Preece who is right in the middle of the action.
Trouble.
Les Hinckley.
We've got a melee in turn 3
And Mike
and 4.
Holdridge.
And it is the Holdridge machine, as Blaze had pointed it out.
Well, Ted Christopher got off to a dazzling start of the race.
He did.
Let's see if lightning can strike twice for Ted Christopher.
Well, he's got some company with Kirk Alexander in that 43 car. You can bet on that. And Dylan Kopech.
Dylan Kopech rim rides to the inside.
Wow.
Off the turn and down the back straightaway. Christopher in command. And now up on the wheel, making some noise. A little further back,
Here comes.
we've got Rowan Pennick.
And Keith Rocco.
So they are surrounding Ted Christopher in the battle for the lead. Kopech on the inside, Alexander on the outside.
All of a sudden, Teddy Christopher's car did a little shimmy, shimmy, shake
Thanks
in
to
the center of the turn.
Dylan Kopech let him know he was there.
So a little caffeine twitch, but Christopher recovers and now started to make some noise as Eric Goodale, as he is close enough to Kopech's spoiler to do some damage.
Whoa.
Tommy Barrett, car number 9. And down the back straightaway, we've got a car making contact. Back up through the gears.
Side by side into turn 1.
Kirk Alexander giving Ted Christopher a run on home turf. But Christopher gets what they call forward bite, and Matt, he slingshots out in front.
Boy, forward bite, it looked like he had poly grip for tires as he was able to pull away temporarily from Alexander, trying to fill the hole. It's Keith Rocco in car number 57, as right now he's halfway to Alexander in the 43.
That's right. He
Keep
takes over the second spot.
Keep your eyes on Preece.
And here comes Goodale.
Yep, and Rowan Pennick is the tail that wags the dog there.
Yep.
trouble
We've
out.
got problems here on the
Kirk
front
Alexander.
straightaway.
Alexander and Goodale on the grass.
And it looked like that Rowan Pennick
Got involved.
might have got involved in that, and it might have done some damage
Whoops, we got a little
to the
small
front
fire.
suspension.
So Alexander is able to come back out onto the speedway, but he took a, like Mr. Toad's wild ride into the grass.
Here we go. All eyes on turn 4. MTS exit realty 125. Back up to green.
Ted Christopher has company. There's no doubt about it. Keith Rocco just went around him like nothing.
Look at Ryan Preece.
There we go.
Preece goes to the outside.
Wow.
2 for 2 in MTS events, 2 victories. And Matt, he's making it look easy in the upper groove.
He really is.
And he is riding a roller coaster against Keith Rocco, and he is able to M16 his way into the lead. So he was like a Tomahawk missile to the outside of Keith Rocco, taking over the top spot on lap number 7.
He certainly does. And look a little further back. John McKennedy. He came from the parking lot in this one from a scratch position and is working his way into the top 6.
That's right. Eric Goodale makes his way out of the pits, car number 58.
Unofficially, he's only 1 lap down. That is unofficial. Preece is still the big dog in command.
He's got company, though, Ben.
And very formidable company.
Yes.
And Keith Rocco with Christopher right there. That 00 always seems to have good races at Stafford.
Yep.
And Dylan Kopech, this is his home turf. He is running 4th.
Yeah,
And
he
we received
lives not too far
information.
from here.
The Goodale car is unofficially 2 laps down. Back up front. Jeff Gallup was going on strong for a while in the 7th spot with a red number 4. And just as we talked about, Les Hinckley, who was involved in a jingle in the first lap of the event,
Finds himself in the 8th spot.
and Hinckley is moving forward. TJ Blue also running good. And look at Tommy Barrett. Barrett coming back to the front like the old hot knife through butter, and so isn't Pennick.
Well, it's the change of tires that probably tweaked these cars to pick them up a little bit. The Art Berry 21 car has always been a a fast car, a fantastic car.
Well, doing most of the tweaking right now is Rowan Pennick.
You're not kidding.
As he is able to get by Richard Savory, which is something very difficult to do, and he has pulled it off. A very steady run so far for Chris Pastriak in the Michael V. Williams number 15, running in the top 5.
There's another smart driver, Ben, as you were talking about, Matt. He knows to save his car till the end.
Look further back in the field. Woody Pitcat. Like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, a little cat and mouse action. He is following Rowan Pennick through traffic. He just went around Savory on the inside.
Yep.
TJ Blue is there. Now watch Woody Pitcat. Bonsai moved to the inside.
Dives into those turns.
And guess what?
He just took over the spot.
The dynamic duo is going to be Rowan Pennick and Woody Pitcat.
That's right.
If they can keep this up, Matt.
Now, one of the reasons that Pitcat made that move look so easy, he has a lot more Stafford Speedway experience than Savory. Now Barrett putting on a show. Cannonballs underneath Les Hinckley.
Barrett spun earlier, but he's not done yet.
No.
He's used to starting way in the back of the pack and working his way to the front. Tommy Barrett is up to the 8th spot.
And
Jeff Gallup is 7th. John McKennedy is 6th.
And Tommy Barrett's got his eyes set on Jeff Gallup as they come out of turn 4.
Now, Richard Savory has switched to the inside, and he is able to pick up a position, but Savory is still in 12th place.
TJ Blue had a problem. His car suddenly got loosened up. Kirk Alexander is struggling further back in the field. Meanwhile, keep your eyes. Woody Pitcat now moves down underneath Les Hinckley. Now Hinckley runs in the tire tracks of the Pitcat machine.
Oh, look at
Barrett.
Wow.
As he lunges his way to the back bumper. Now it is Rocco and Teddy with some fisticuffs. Keith Rocco, Ted Christopher, as they whirlwind their way into the second corner.
Barrett has now picked up another spot. He's up to the 7th position.
And he's taking Rowan Pennick and Woody Pitcat with him.
And Les Hinckley.
And Les
They're
Hinckley.
making it a foursome.
That's right.
They are all grabbing onto the coattails of Tommy Barrett.
We got to give a shout out to Dylan Kopech for turning in his run tonight, running currently in the 5th spot with the number M6, a number synonymous with Munson, Massachusetts.
That's right. That is a brand new machine.
And it looks, gentlemen, like John McKennedy right now is just playing the waiting game.
Yep.
Going as fast as he needs to, not as fast as he wants
And
to.
here he
Making
goes.
a move against Kopech.
Right underneath him.
All of a sudden the Barrett machine
Here we go.
starts to slow down.
And Pastriak just went underneath Christopher.
And he made it look easy.
He did. Chris Pastriak always has a great car.
Chris Pastriak now sets his sights on Kid Rock. And all of a sudden, and now Barrett is off the pace.
Oh, boy.
Tom
That's
Barrett,
a shame.
second attempt at a great run, will go into the record books with misfortune. Back up front, Chris Pastriak looks high.
Behind the wall.
And then looks low.
Yep.
Barrett is done behind the wall.
That's too bad. Good effort, that family. Victory Lane Bar and Grill is owned by his family, and they keep that team going.
Now Pastriak is starting to caress the back bumper of the Keith Rocco car.
Look at McKennedy.
Look at John McKennedy.
He was putting some pressure on Christopher.
You're not kidding. He's letting Ted Christopher know he's there, that's for sure. Pastriak looks down low underneath Rocco. Pastriak will take over the second spot now. Eyes set on Priest.
Chris Pastriak showing some muscle, moves into second. John McKennedy has passed more cars than anyone else.
That's right.
Remember, he started last.
And he looks down low underneath Christopher. Oh. Christopher slams the door on McKennedy.
Boy, and almost an instant replay of what happened last year between Christopher and McKennedy, and they were able to live to tell about it. Here is Christopher trying to duck underneath Keith Rocco to fight for third.
I think Teddy's got a little bit more. He's just saving it, but now it's time to turn the wick up.
Now, pay attention where we are, boys. We're around lap 27. Remember, that caution could come anywhere between 30 and 40, we were told.
That's right. And they will not lose their spots where they came in.
And Priest's lead has been cut to about the length of a popsicle stick.
That's right.
Over Chris Pastriak. Pastriak might be the brightest blip on the radar screen at this stage of the race.
That's right.
Last lap by, Ryan Priest turned a 19.588. Chris Pastriak a 19.617. Rocco a 6.11.
Wow. The third, fourth, and fifth place cars are, here goes Teddy.
And there is Christopher trying to swoop
Look at
underneath
John
Kid Rock.
McKennedy.
Yep.
McKennedy
Follows Christopher.
moves in to the 4th spot.
Wow.
Rocco gets shuffled back to position number 5, and John McKennedy is not done yet.
No, he is not.
Christopher was the offensive lineman who opened up the hole, and then McKennedy was a running back who was able to take advantage of it. Here comes McKennedy again. Lightning bolts his way into the top 3.
Barrels into the turn. He's hoping that car will stick, and it did.
Now, we are in the fuel zone, we'll call it. But in command is still Priest. 2:41, fastest time of the event so far on the last circuit by Ryan Priest. 19.241. Chris Pastriak still in second. John McKennedy still third. Christopher, Rocco, and Dylan Kopech.
Carlos Gray gets the move over flag in car number 69.
And it was a little hair-raising for a while, but Pastriak was able to get by in car number 15. So it is McKennedy up to the top 3, and he has looked classy in doing it.
He has.
Now, remember, we're on 33. Somewhere between 33 and 40, the magic fuel stop could take place. Will it?
Or will it not?
That is the question.
That is the question.
Well, it is still Ryan Priest, the drum major of the parade, against Pastriak. A little deeper in the field, we see Chris Kopech. He has his hands full against Rowan Pennock. So Pennock has come from the pits and now has moved all the way up into 7th place.
That's wonderful.
Oh, trouble now. 69 car, Carlos Gray, literally was sideways, gathered it back. No harm, no foul there.
No, Manchester, Connecticut driver.
Back up front. Look at John McKennedy. That race car reminds you of a slot car in an amusement park game. It just runs wherever he puts it, it sticks and it seems to work.
Well, Pennock was able to slash his way underneath Kopech, and now it's Woody Pitcat able to do the same thing.
That's right.
So Pitcat has come from oblivion into 8th place.
It's amazing.
No question about it.
Rowan Pennock, after coming in the pits to change a tire, look where he's at.
And Blaze, not many laps have passed, and they've been able to do that.
That's
Pass
right.
a lot of cars to get up to the top tier of the field.
Now we're on lap number 37 of 125.
And
in the exit really to 125.
I don't believe any of these guys are going to pit. Ben, do you?
Don't know what's going to happen. Looking a little further back in the field, Pennock is getting quicker and Woody Pitcat is getting quicker.
They're making their way. They just went by Dylan Kopech.
So
Their eyes are
Kopech
set
is
on
dropping
Rocco.
back.
I'm sorry, Matt, what?
Kopech is dropping back after a hot start.
Yep. He definitely needs a pit stop. But Ryan Priest is still your leader. And
Remember,
Pastriak.
Priest won the biggest paydays for the MTS a year ago and then won the opener for the MTS.
That's right.
And there is the yellow.
And there is the yellow.
Advantage goes to Ryan Priest.
That's right.
No surprises there.
Chris Pastriak still on his tail.
Not
giving up a spot.
Look at Rowan Pennock.
Look at Dylan Kopech on the outside. Wow, he came from what, 6th or 8th position? Finds himself in the 4th spot.
And Woody Pitcat is up there to challenge Rocco for position.
That's right.
In car number 52.
And look at Kopech and Rowan Pennock battle it out.
Look at John McKennedy while you're watching all of that.
That's right.
He's coming from the back as well. He's behind Les Hinckley, and he's making some noise there. Leader is still Priest, but Priest's car does not seem to be as good as it was before the caution. Now, look at John McKennedy. Every lap
On the
he seems
outside.
to pick up a car or two.
Yep.
Maybe they made the adjustment so he could go on the outside. He is challenging Les Hinckley for a position, and it looks like he is able to jet stream around him. Pitcat trying to get around Keith Rocco.
McKennedy outside, inside. He's putting that car wherever he wants.
He sure is.
And they did work on the left side of that car this time as he came in, not the right side.
Now look at Woody Pitcat. He's now moved into the top 5 for the first time.
He sure has.
Forcing Rocco back in the 6th position.
And Ben and Matt, it looks like that outside groove it seems to be rubbered in and working better than the inside groove.
But it doesn't matter where he is for John McKennedy, as he just made a move on the inside, and he gets past Richard Savory.
That's right.
John McKennedy's got a car that is the fastest car on the racetrack.
It has to be.
And whatever they did in adjustments, it made it even quicker.
Yeah, they might have softened up that left side of the car, and it's just outstanding the way it's handling.
And it looks like it's the fastest car on the track, whether he's inside or outside. Pitcat getting underneath Kopech.
Yep. And here comes McKennedy. He's going to take McKennedy with him.
McKennedy's car sticks like glue on the inside.
Boy, a little whiplash move that time by McKennedy.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where he is on the track. He's got plenty of giddy up.
Here he comes.
Look at that.
Look at that. Runs right up on Pitcat.
Yep. Gives him a little push there. Lets him know he's there. John McKennedy, the king of the Super Modifieds, defending champion of the Modified Racing Series, making his presence known. And look at that, Matt.
Pitcat gave him a little room.
Where did McKennedy
McKennedy's able to exploit it?
Gee.
Sure was.
From the back of the pack. Unbelievable. Back up front, Pastriak doesn't seem to be giving much real estate to Ryan Preece. Still
got a ways to go.
Yeah, he does. He does. A few car links.
Preece has not been able to run and hide as Pastriak has been in the neighborhood.
That's right.
And Rowan Pennick, you get the feeling that Pennick, we haven't seen the best of him yet.
No, he's got nothing but clean air in the third
spot.
spot.
Rowan Pennick, just like we saw in the SKs tonight, Matt, he runs strong usually when the money is up at the end of the event. So don't count him out. He's just riding this out, trying to save those tires and save that equipment.
Yeah, that car not working up a sweat yet. Rocco in 4th, and now McKennedy is right there. This is going to be interesting. Here comes McKennedy.
Dives down low underneath Rocco.
And he
takes the spot.
So easy.
Yes,
and when you
did.
can pass Keith Rocco in turn 3, Matt, that is something, isn't it?
It's like he has velvet for tires. That is how smooth he is.
Yep.
Well, like
amazing.
And now it looks like Preece is starting to expand his lead a little over Chris Pastriak. Of course, we still have a long way to go, 72 laps.
Yep.
So it is still too early for Pastriak to really put a lot of pressure. Remember, the name of the game is to preserve your car and preserve your tires.
That's
Ryan
exactly
Preece, the last time by, 19.385, and John McKennedy, 19.300.
Wow.
So McKennedy is quicker, and he is closing in on Rowan Pennick. And it doesn't appear now that Chris Pastriak has much
for Preece.
For Preece at this point, but we've still got a long way to go. Now, Ted Christopher tried the same tactic that John McKennedy did with an adjustment, and I don't think that adjustment has worked as well, Matt.
No, he has not climbed like McKennedy has. He is currently running 10th, one spot behind Les Hinckley.
And Kirk Alexander, who ran wonderful at the beginning of this race, finds himself in 11th. I think some more adjustments need to be made. If there's a caution, I'm sure these guys might come in. Here comes Preece. Yep, the real estate grows between the first and second place cars. There's no doubt about it. And the third place of Rowan Pennick. And here comes McKennedy, though.
McKennedy is gaining every circuit.
He's making up ground, there's no doubt.
TJ Blue is down on pit road.
No doubt McKennedy is a straw that is stirring the drink as he is closing in on a back bumper of Rowan Pennock. So that is in his crosshairs. Priest is having a joyride at the front of the field.
He is, Matt. And I'll tell you, Matt, here Rowan Pennock's he's closing the gap on Chris Pastriak as well.
He certainly is. And John McKennedy, Matt just pointed it out, McKennedy is still coming. 285, his last circuit, and the leader, Ryan Priest, was a 486.
Oh, boy, McKennedy's coming quick.
Meanwhile, look at Woody Pitkat working over Keith Rocco, and now all of a sudden Richard Savory is starting to move forward as Savory has just moved into the 7th spot.
Richard Savory always says he's at a little bit of a disadvantage when he comes to Stafford because a lot of guys like Christopher Pennock, Ryan Priest have a lot more experience here than he does. But he is rapidly gaining tonight, currently running in 7th place.
Deep in turn number 3, McKennedy
working on Rowan Pennock.
Boy, he was trailing by a redwood tree, and now the margin is a toothpick between Rowan Pennock and John McKennedy.
Yep.
Come up on a lap car, the Moeller machine. And this time, when they come to the stripe, half of the event is all but history. Halfway down and halfway to go.
And Ben, I think you remember our first event with the MTS up in New Hampshire. I think that 125 lap feature event actually took less time than a couple of the features prior to that.
John McKennedy is still coming, Matt. And all of a sudden, just as we predicted, guess what? Rowan Pennock is now turned up the wick a bit too.
Yes, he has.
He turns on that last circuit the fastest lap. So he's trying to shake off like a dog who has fleas. And in this case, those fleas are John McKennedy.
Yeah, he looks in his back rearview mirror and he sees an 8x10 glossy of John McKennedy trying to get far enough away so he doesn't have to look at that. And he is closing in on Pastriak. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th could fit underneath a sombrero as we go into lap number 67.
So 66 laps complete. Ryan Priest is way out in front.
Eric Goodale just got a little sideways coming out of turn 4 as he's working on Ted Christopher.
And now McKennedy, Pennock, and Pastriak.
Pennock's doing a good job holding off McKennedy, is he not?
Yes, he is.
He's got a little breathing room between himself and the 29 car.
And here they come.
And Pennock is still the faster of the top 4. Crazy enough.
That's great.
As it is.
Well, McKennedy was able to catch Pennock, but passing him is a lot more difficult. As a fireball is Rowan Pennock in that number 25 car.
Rowan just got a little loose in there, coming out of turn 4, had a little wiggle going on. Let's hope he's not looking at that mirror too much.
He looked like
Here
a
comes
belly
John
dancer.
McKennedy.
Yep, looking down low.
Didn't happen. Pennock slammed the door. No room at the end this time.
And he's, yes.
There he goes again.
There he goes.
Inside.
Oh,
Can't do it. Pennock slams the door.
Yep.
You know, McKennedy, even though he hasn't raced here at Stafford that often, he loves to make that move into turn number 1. That is how he won a Valente Series race, and he almost used that move successfully against Pennock.
And very few have been able to make that move in modern day time here at Stafford in that first turn. There was a time when a lot of drivers held that transition. Look at Pennock.
Yep.
He is down underneath Chris Pastriak, and Carlos Gray, the lapped automobile, is right in the midst of the action there.
And Gray almost got squeezed up against the wall, but he was able to get out of the way. Here's McKennedy again, turn 3. And once again, Pennock has the veto power.
Pennock still.
You know, and Chris Pastriak is still running tremendous. They cannot catch him in the 15 CT car.
And Panic and McKennedy have given him everything they have.
They really
and
have.
Pastriak has still been able to keep his fingernails in second place.
You are right, Matt.
That's exactly right, man.
A little further back, Richard Savory and Woody Pitcat, they've got their own little mini war going on there. With 75 laps coming up on the board, Ryan Preece is your leader. Chris Pastriak is second, Rowan Penick is third. John McKennedy is fourth, and Keith Rocco is rounding out the top 5 in the MTS exit wheelier event. Now look at Ted Christopher working over Dylan Kopech.
And Kopech got a little loose, too, up high like that.
There goes John McKennedy.
Oh, boy.
He finally got him.
Well, Rowan Penick comes back down low.
He is almost there.
Trying to do the slingshot move.
And now John McKennedy sets his sight on Chris Pastriak.
Yep.
Last time by, 19.544 for Pastriak and a 4.44. We've got a yellow.
Debris. Got to be debris. Slow pace on the restart, but Les Hinckley. He got a nice little push from Chris Pastriak down the front straightaway.
And all of a sudden, Medeiros goes high, wide, and handsome to the outside.
That's right.
Carl Medeiros Jr. running with the big dogs at the front of the class, and what a job he's doing as he gives Les Hinckley a run for the money, and Medeiros becomes a new leader in the event.
Lane change by Pastriak. He went from the inside to the outside
that's right.
to get by Hinckley, and now he is trying to run down Carl Medeiros.
And look at who's marching to the front. Ryan Preece, car number 6.
Preece literally went around John McKennedy. And now Rowan Penick just is looking for some real estate, and he can't find it. As now, all of a sudden, Rocco is there, and they're almost 3 wide, Matt, for the 6th spot. New leader, car number 15.
And Preece down low underneath that 15.
And here comes Preece trying to cannonball his way underneath Chris Pastriak.
And he's bringing McKennedy with him, Matt.
And it looks like Preece is on the verge of taking over the lead, but Pastriak has something to say about that.
That's exactly right.
He certainly
does.
does.
They go into turn 3.
Here they come off turn number 4.
Thank you.
And guess what? Ryan Preece is back on top. Pastriak is still running in second. Medeiros is still in the 3rd spot. Kennedy's up to 4, and Ted Christopher goes spinning underneath the Napa billboard.
Caution is out.
And it comes with 45 laps to go. Boy, there were still more laps left in our normal SK Modified race on a regular Friday night. So we still have a long way to go in this one.
We do.
And Ryan Preece, he was just a blur, like nitro, getting by Pastriak.
This is another SK feature event for you on a normal Friday night with what we have remaining, man.
Yes. And the interesting thing, how good the outside groove is on this
rub
track.
it in. That's right.
As cars are not reluctant to go to the outside and make moves.
You mentioned earlier about the right rear tire. Last year, Lee USA Speedway up there, and that track is so abrasive, it eats the right rears. And that's really the only tire they change, those guys. But Stafford's a little bit smoother, the asphalt. But the right rear definitely helps. Maybe Ted Christopher made the wrong adjustments again on pit road.
Well, as he went a whirling dervish in turn number 2 to bring out the yellow. And we'll see if it's an advantage for maybe Pastriak starting on the outside.
That's exactly right.
That usually isn't the case here, but it has been at times tonight.
Yep.
It certainly has been, Matt. And, of course, really, now down in pit road, the 21 car that seemed to really loosen up bad, even though it was leading the field, as Les Hinckley's back down in pit road. They're going to the right side of that car, and it looks like they're putting on a new right rear on that race car. So 80 of 125 in the exit reality. Stop number 2.
A return visit
that's
for
a
Gallup
sticker
on pit
tire
road.
he put on too, brand new. Jeff Gallup makes his way in down pit road. Let's see what they do with Jeff. Richie Gallup, his father's right there. Well, they made a change something on the left front.
So, Gallup returns. Chan on the starter stand tells the field to cross over. So far, Priest has been the star of this one. Chris Pastriak led it for a while. Carl Medeiros for a while. John McKennedy was close. Keith Rocco continues to play among the top 5.
A great battle, getting ready. Exit Realty. Chevy Camaro makes its way to the inside. Down pit road as we get set to go green. This time by, gentlemen.
Here we go. Here's Matt Buckler with the call as we go back to green.
Priest jumps on the gas. His right foot must have weighed about 900 pounds as he is able to get the upper hand against Pastriak. Medeiros in the picture, and on the outside is McKennedy. So McKennedy has reinvaded the top 3.
He certainly is.
And here comes Rowan Pennick.
As now they come off the turn, and now John McKennedy sets in the comfort zone in the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Rowan Pennick, along with Keith Rocco, are side by side. That's the battle for 5th.
In the middle of the action is Rowan Pennick as he is Velcroed to Keith Rocco as they go into the 4th corner. And it is Rocco holding on, but only by a cookie crumb.
Chris Pastriak.
Now Keith Rocco gets shuffled back a bit.
A little loose in turns 1 and 2. There's problems in the back, too. Les Hinckley had to slam the brakes on, guys.
Back up front, Chris Pastriak is all over
Ryan Priest.
Yep. And we
John
still are not in the sweet spot for this event, Matt. We still got a ways to go with 83 laps. Oh, down the back straightaway.
Oh, boy. Rowan Pennick. Kirk Alexander.
No.
Panic.
Oh, there, Alexander did hit. There he is. He come to a rest and then back straight away.
Medeiros, the number 50 car, and Rowan Pennick. And then Kirk Alexander became a factor after the fact.
Well, that's
and
a
he
shame.
slammed the wall pretty hard.
They both did, yeah.
So 83 laps are complete.
Window nets are down. Pennick is still trying to move his car on the back straightaway. He's not going to move that anywhere. Brand new tire on that right rear. Maybe he didn't get too much damage.
Well, he's trying to get back out onto the track.
Yep.
But right now there is a little traffic on the grass.
Yep, it looks like almost the suspension on the Medeiros car is part of the problem. Is it?
There he is.
Rowan Pennick is able to pull away.
Yep. Or back away.
And that is hard to believe. Kirk Alexander's car.
Got some serious damage to that car.
The Alexander team have 2 race cars this year. The old one and the new one, and Kirk told me earlier today that he liked the old one.
Well,
he says sometimes you just have a car, it's like buying a pair of shoes.
That's right.
They seem to fit better, and you just feel more comfortable. And he said the old car, that's the way it really feels for me.
Panic is headed onto pit road.
And a guy that we haven't talked about at all is Richard Savory. He's up to the 4th spot, and his strategy might really pay off in this one. Now, the last time Savory was here, he was contending for the victory, and he ran out of fuel. And we know that's not going to happen tonight because we had a fuel stop early.
That's right.
And very sadly, the Kirk Alexander car on the back of the hook and the Carl Medeiros car. Medeiros, who led some laps, and now the Joe Brady family-owned race car is down in pit road. Eric Goodale is back down there in pit road.
Boy, it's a good thing they didn't have easy pass on the entrance to pit road, or it would be costing Ted Christopher a small fortune tonight.
You're right,
because
Matt.
he is back on pit road.
And
Never
Les
was
Hinckley's
able to get
also
that
there.
car the way he wanted to.
Now keep your eyes on Rowan Panick's pit crew. That's Gary Cazella. Brian Crowley is a spotter and a longtime personal friend of Rowan Panick, considered one of the best spotters in the business.
Here we started the race with 20 cars, and there were 15 drivers still on the lead lap. And Eric Goodale 1 lap down. So out of the 20 who started, 15 have completed 83 laps.
And among the casualties early, Sammy Ramos was one of the first cars out. Tommy Barrett had something go through the radiator. TJ Blue had a problem with his race car, and Carlos Gray had an ignition problem with his.
Oh,
so those are cars that did not fare well. You can see that work still continuing on the left front of the Rowan Panick race car, and they've got the most valuable tool in the whole place, and that's a sledgehammer that they are working on.
Just got one, thanks.
So Hinckley is back out onto the track, even though he comes from Windsor Locks, which is what, maybe 25 minutes from here?
Not far.
He does not have that much experience at Stafford.
Well, listen, guys, I talked with Chris Pastriak earlier this afternoon in the pits. And he wanted me to give him a special shout out to the MV Williams Builders Company. They're here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway, proud sponsor on the Chris Pastriak car. So a shout out to the MV Williams Builders and all the best. We wish him all the best. He's got some serious competition up front. Pastriak, Priest, McKennedy, Savory, Rocco. Here they come. Green flag is out. Priest stands on the pedal again.
John McKennedy is right there, gives him the old power push.
Yep.
Is now Pastriak. It's do or die time on the outside. And look at Richard Savory. Savory, with the skill of a surgeon, has moved to the front of the field, as now John McKennedy's up to second.
Well, John Savory might have saved his car for the end.
Certainly does appear that way just a bit. Now we've got a side-by-side battle, Matt.
Woody Pitcat in the hip pocket of Keith Rocco. And Rocco has the edge at this time.
Mike Holdridge finds himself in the top 10 in the Zero car. Family effort, sponsor-wanted machine.
And all of a sudden, Teddy Christopher, I think they found it this time, Matt, because he's starting to come forward.
He just got a
little
bump.
Now this is a Ted Christopher we are used to seeing.
Right.
As he's going after Mike Holdridge in the Zero car. They zip drive their way off the corner. It is Ryan Priest in command. John McKennedy, and he is challenging, and Rowan Panick is on pit road, so he is in serious trouble.
Yeah, there's a little problem with the front end there.
Heartbreaker for Rowan Panick after running so strong. John
making it behind the wall, he goes.
Yep, and John McKennedy, last time by, McKennedy was a 403, Ryan Priest, the leader, was a 409, and Chris Pastriak was a 505. Richard Savory was a 616, all in the 19s.
So the fastest 3 cars are running 1, 2, 3 on the track. Priest followed by McKennedy, followed by Pastriak. And McKennedy, you get a feeling that the race for him really isn't going to get started until about lap 100.
That's right.
So even though Priest has a big lead, I don't think we have seen the best of John McKennedy yet.
I think you're right, Matt.
89 now up on the board.
John McKennedy hates to finish second. That's the first loser, he says.
Meanwhile, a little further back, Ted Christopher trying to close up the gap. Christopher's currently being shown in the 9th spot behind Mike Holdridge in position number 8.
And McKennedy, Matt, you were right. McKennedy is not giving up on Ryan Priest.
And we still have 35 laps to go.
That's right.
So almost an eternity in the world of modified racing.
That's
with Priest out in front by about the length of a diving board over the number 29 of McKennedy.
Well,
so things are starting to settle in, and the strategy for the final quarter is going to be coming into play in just a few laps.
And I think it's going to be all coming down to who preserved their car the best.
How's those lap times? John McKennedy, well, he was a little slower last time around.
He was, and Ryan Preece's fastest lap of the race was a 19:147, but he just clicked off a 2:69. So his car hasn't gotten that much slower,
right,
at all if you look at those times.
Well, Preece's fastest lap took place on lap number 15, but he is running very consistent times, trying not to abuse that car.
That's right. McKennedy the same way, very smooth as he comes out of the turns, man.
And Richard Savory, one of the feel-good stories of this race.
That's right.
The son of a Hall of Famer, George Savory.
Absolutely.
The Low Rider Depot entry.
5 laps shy of the 100, and then it'll be the final 25. Ted Christopher has closed up the gap on Mike Holdridge, your 8th place car. Then it's Dylan Kopech in front of him.
Mike Holdridge, very impressive tonight. Ben.
He used to be a regular here at Stafford. Now he is a part-time competitor.
Right. Running the series.
He picks and chooses the events in which he likes to run.
Right. You got 10 races to do.
Let's see what Ted Christopher can do. He's right behind Holdridge.
Yeah, he's making
this could get a little hair-raising.
Sure could, and then Dylan Kopech is directly in front of Holdridge. So literally Christopher has moved in to contend with that pack of 3 that'll put him closer to the front of the field.
Well, Christopher's car seems to work better in 3 and 4 than it does in 1 and 2. He gains ground. Let's see how he, yeah, much better in 3 and 4. Back up front, it's still Preece and McKennedy. Pastriak, Savory, and Rocco, top 5.
When they come back to the stripe this time, 100 circuits will be complete. On lap number 100, Ryan Preece is your leader. John McKennedy is second. Chris Pastriak will be in third. Richard Savory in fourth. Keith Rocco for 5. Then back in the 6th spot is Woody Pitkat. 7th is Dylan Kopech. 8th is Holdridge. 9th is Christopher, and Jeff Gallup sets in 10th. Matt?
And it is Holdridge trying to make a move against Kopech. So here is Hinckley as he is able to scorch his way underneath Jeff Gallup in the red 4. So 2 red cars going at it.
He's got a brand new right rear on that 21 car, too.
And he put it to good use there.
He did.
As he is able to skateboard underneath Gallup, who answers back, but he doesn't answer back loudly enough. And Hinckley maintains his position.
Hinckley slammed the door on that 4 car of Jeff Gallup.
And that was a battle for 10th.
Keep your eyes on Christopher now. He's getting a little frisky.
Well, after 102 laps, you figure that he would. And now he's trying to target the back bumper of the Mike Holdridge car.
The 58 of Eric Goodale. Something's dragging underneath that car. He's got sparks flying down the front straightaway. Might have a tire going down.
Preece on the last time by, 19.251. John McKennedy, 19.271. So Ryan Preece continues to be dominant. And all of a sudden on the last time by, John McKennedy picked up the pace, 19.198.
He's picking up the pace. He's gaining ground on Ryan Preece.
So John McKennedy is in that comfort zone. And we talked about it, those last 20 to 25 laps. And that's exactly where we are. And John McKennedy isn't done yet.
Yeah, tire management is what McKennedy is good at. As he swings wide to the outside of turn number 1.
Yes, he does the same thing.
Trying to get some momentum.
Yeah, he does it in 3 and 4 too, Matt. He's a lot smoother. And then he's running quite well, John McKennedy.
So it still remains Preece the dominant car. John McKennedy is still running in second. Pastriak, not as strong as he was earlier. setting in the 3rd spot, and then Savory in the 4th position, and
With-
Rocco in 5.
With 108 laps down.
And here is McKennedy starting to narrow the
Yes,
gap between
he
he and Priest. So we expected McKennedy will do this, and he is starting to deliver.
John
Gaining
McKennedy.
some ground. Here he comes up on Ryan Priest. About a car length, Matt, Ben.
They Knievel their way into the 2nd corner.
Well, he
and
turned
it
up the
is a
wick.
molecule.
He
separating.
turned up
Here
the
he
wick.
comes.
Priest
Shut
slams
down
the
by
door.
Priest.
Yep, and off the turn. Let's see if it's going to be a different story. Remember, we've talked about John McKennedy has found magic in the bottom of turn 1. But there's no magic
The
that
top
time.
of turn 1, actually. Here he comes.
15 circuits to go.
Priest slams the door on McKennedy as they go into 3.
A little Ringo Starr action to the back bumper of the Priest car. They go into turn number 1. McKennedy swinging to the outside, trying to get the momentum to use against Priest.
And he does.
And now this is where it might happen.
Nope, it doesn't happen that time, Matt. But he's not done yet.
14 laps to go. 13 laps to go this time by.
He's trying to wear him out.
It looks like he goes wide in the corner to get some momentum, and then he'll try to use that momentum
coming
in
out of
turn
the turn
3.
Yep.
Priest guards the spot. Here
He's
comes McKennedy again, but no cigar.
What a battle up front.
So Priest is protecting his turf against one of the best drivers in New England, John McKennedy. And as they blister their way into turn number 3, McKennedy decides to play the waiting game.
And they're coming up on lap traffic.
Andrew
Now
Moeller.
Look at John McKennedy. He changed his line completely.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He might have enough. Eric Goodale makes his way to the pits.
Back off turn number 4. 10 laps remaining. Priest and John McKennedy become the dynamic duo at the point.
And after 115 laps, only a popsicle stick are separating Ryan Priest from John McKennedy.
And lap traffic is going to play a role here, guys.
And
35.
again, McKennedy, every time he plans his move, and then it's almost like a little game that he can't get enough momentum to be there. And Matt, you pointed it out. He continues to try to keep the momentum up and running as high as he can. And look at him reel him in there, Matt.
Yes.
He reels him in on the backstretch, but the fish that got away so far is Ryan Priest down to the final 7 laps.
Well, it's still not done yet.
No, it's not.
And here he comes again. What a great run. Now the lap car became a problem of Gallup.
And there was nowhere on the bottom for McKennedy to go,
No,
so he
that's
has to
right.
wait to show us his A game.
That's right.
There he goes wide, trying to get momentum. And now, let's see
Now,
if he can
here
use
we-
it in turn 3.
Well, we got a little loose coming out of turn 2.
Can't do it yet.
He's up high in turns 3 and 4 as well.
Now he's going to try it again, running in the tire tracks. Bottom of turn 1. Priest knows him's there. And now, McKennedy again. Now this time he comes off the turn strong. Bonsai move.
Bonsai move is right. And Priest has to stay up high and side by side out of turn 4. John McKennedy takes the lead with 4 laps to go.
121 up on the board. And McKennedy, with a power move, takes over the lead.
I think we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it took about 20 laps for that 1-lap move to take place. Now, can Priest answer back? He has less than 3 laps to do it. Ryan Priest, known for his late race heroics at Stafford.
That's right.
Kennedy, the man in command. Priest is not far away.
Nope. 2 laps to go this time by.
1 mile left in the competition here. Priest was the dominant car, but John McKennedy came from the back and went to the front twice and passed more cars than anyone in the house.
They firecracker their way off the fourth quarter. One more time around to decide the Exit Realty 125.
It's the Exit Realty car. John McKennedy with a power move to take the lead. Final time through turn number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, John McKennedy will win the Exit Realty 125 for the Modified Touring Series. Ryan Priest will finish in second.
What a race, gentlemen.
Chris Pastriak will finish in third, Richard Savory for fourth, and Keith Rocco for 5.
Then it was Woody Pitcat in 6th, Mike Holdridge in 7th, Dylan Kopech in 8th, Les Hinckley in 9th, and Ted Christopher in 10th.
Then it was Jeff Gallup in car number 4, Andrew Moeller in the 12th position, 13th position, Eric Goodale, TJ Blow in 14th, and Rowan Pennick in the
And now we direct our attention to Napa Victory Lane to meet the winner of the Exit Realty 125 with John Gates. John?
Okay, Ben, a quick drink of water for John McKennedy. Well deserved, man. What a run, what a race. 29 car comes up with a big win here tonight. John McKennedy, congratulations, man. You drove the wheels off that car.
Yeah, we had a great car tonight. I mean, we come from the back twice, probably passed about 40 race cars. You know, Ryan was tough there at the end. About 30 laps, we were basically nose to tail, car length apart, and I could see him starting to get free. And it was tricky. I was trying to make the time just right off of 2 to get the big run in the 3, and it all worked out. Nice, hard, clean pass. Big thanks to my crew. We had an A-frame brake and heat race, and basically had to rebuild the whole front end, and that put us really behind. But I want to thank my crew. They really worked hard today. All my sponsors, everyone that makes this possible, Woolwood Brakes, Penske Shocks, Exit Realty, Christopher's Towing, Mike Pettit. What an awesome engine. And, you know, Eddie Flumke at Raceworks. Just it's a whole package, a group effort. So thanks to all them. And, you know, it's great to be here at Stafford with another win. It's just the last few years, this track's, I don't know, it's been really good to me.
John McKennedy, he'll go to Victory Lane in the Exit Realty 125 here at Stafford for the Modified Touring Series.